Downton Abbey was a pretty big deal there for a few years. It was the big British show that really had an impact on the world at large, and I came to the party a little late when its final season had already finished airing. So how do I feel about it? I like it. I like it a lot. I like the characters and I like the setting, I like the drama, I like the humour. I think the first 3 seasons are the best before the actors started getting famous and wanting out of the show, and the first season is the strongest of them all. I thought it ended on a good note too. Nothing very memorable, but I was satisfied, and I didn't really see the point of doing a movie. In fact, I never do see the point in it. The only reason I feel for a TV show to make a movie is to wrap up storylines after the show has been prematurely cancelled. And with this, it feels like, well, if they were able to make this movie on a budget of 13 million, why didn't they just do another season for $1 million an episode? Which is how much an episode of this show cost, which, by the way, in terms of television, is really cheap. Jesus, they probably could have done 2 more seasons with that much money. My point is this: it didn't feel needed, but I still liked it well enough, and I think the best way to describe it is it's like one of the Christmas specials, but it's not set at Christmas and they added half an hour to the runtime. So the plot is that in 1927, as part of an official state visit, the King and Queen are coming to Downton, which for anyone who doesn't know is an English country house in the Yorkshire countryside, owned by the aristocratic Crawley family. Of course, they want to make a good impression, as do all the servants who work at Downton and take pride in the place, but the royal staff and the royal entourage cause a lot of difficulty, intrigue, and dramatic revelations. It's a very natural plot for the show, and it fits in very well with the tone of the show, while still raising the stakes a bit. The problem, which brings the film down a bit, is the fact that it's only 2 hours long, and there are a lot of characters, and almost every one of them has their own subplot, and in some cases, like the character Tom Branson, have 3 subplots, all of their very own. There's just too much going on. Whole story elements that feel like they could be the main plot of the whole film are introduced and wrapped up at the halfway point, including an assassination attempt on the king, which was the one part that did feel a bit out of place. All of it was handled as well as it could be, but there was enough here for an entire season of television. And because there's so much going on, some of the subplots, which should have been more at the forefront, are not given enough time to develop properly. Most obviously, a very quick romance between Branson and a new character who is the maid of the Queen's Lady-in-Waiting. I would have liked more of that. It also felt like Hugh Bonneville, Elizabeth McGovern, and a few others barely had anything to do in this. There's a plot about Robert's cousin who has decided not to leave him anything as an inheritance, even though he's her only heir, which is the one storyline that feels like it gets the right amount of screen time, but it's also a bit unsatisfying because its outcome affects mostly just 2 new characters instead of any of the old cast. The film is funny in the way that Downton Abbey is funny, people being very witty and overly polite in tense situations, but it's not a laugh out loud funny thing, and it doesn't feel like it's supposed to be. But that didn't stop the middle-aged ladies in the audience, of which there were many, bursting out laughing every time Maggie Smith drew breath. Look, we all like the crazy shit the Dowager Countess says, but let's calm it down a bit. There's one moment that is really funny, but it's because it's the kind of moment that has had a lot of build-up and has created a lot of tension. It's a scene where Mr. Mosley forgets who he is and who he isn't allowed to talk to, and it's all very well done. It's appropriate to the upstairs-downstairs nature of the show, but it still feels strange when the big triumphant moment is when the servants win the privilege of getting to serve people dinner, people who won't acknowledge their existence in any way or even notice that they're there. I don't know if I'm coining a phrase here, but if castle porn isn't a thing that exists, then you've heard it here first. They shoot the fuck out of Highclere Castle in the movie. They shoot this location like it's the final set piece of the biggest action blockbuster of the whole summer. They shoot this location like Tony Scott shot fighter planes. They shoot this location like Michael Bay shoots everything, swooping cameras and low lighting like it's constantly dawn or sunset. Like, you wouldn't be surprised if helicopters appeared over the nearest hill. The camera just eye fucks this castle like it just got out of prison. There are other locations, obviously, and they look good too, but you can tell that the camera's heart just isn't as into it as it was into the main location. I'm a sucker for a setting like this. I like grand palatial estates and period appropriate costuming, but it's the way the characters act mostly, how they can't really say how they really feel or what they really want because they're very repressed by their upbringing in society, and there's lots of avoiding and politeness and keeping up appearances and reputations. And when they do finally have emotional outbursts and confessions of love or hate, it feels somehow more cathartic and earned than it would in a modern or even a lower class setting. The Downton Abbey movie doesn't really work as a movie, but it does work as what it is. a TV movie, an extended episode, or whatever it is. It has all the things you'd expect from a Downton Abbey movie: inheritance issues and secrets and awkward obligations and thieving servants and gay discrimination and jealousy and tentative romances and lavish costumes and subtle put-downs and Lady Mary being a complete bitch all the time. Seriously, she is the worst. I'm going to give the Downton Abbey movie a B+. It works at being exactly what it is, a movie continuation of a TV show that ran for years, has a massive cast, and doesn't need to spend time setting up locations or characters or relationships. It's a bit like Endgame. All the heavy lifting's already been done, so now they can just have a bit of fun with it. And like Endgame, I would not recommend this to anyone who hasn't watched the show. Maybe a newcomer could get something out of it. Maybe they'd get what's going on, but I doubt that they'd care very much. Thank you very much for watching my review. Please like and subscribe. It helps me out, guys. It helps the channel grow. Follow me on Twitter at @LookToTheMovies. Please comment down below and let me know if you've seen the Downton Abbey movie, what you thought of it, if you liked it, disliked, if you agree or disagree with any of my comments, or if you have any points of your own. Let me know what you feel about the TV show, if you've watched it, if you love it, if you hate it. I'll be back soon with more reviews, and I will see you then.